I come from a place where I want to educate my customer. I don't mind which brand you buy. I care about what your skin type is and that you're happy with the product. Here's 3, take your pick. I keep going back to this human experience, in-store experience, and being around for 25 years, being a family business. Those interactions and loyalty means everything to us because we're the small fish in a big pond. So for us, like, earn and burn is out. From a premium brand perspective, when you don't know too much about it, you can see personalisation as that, hi Chelsea, welcome, where it looks quite stalkerish and a bit not on brand. But when you take away the layers and showing someone skincare they might like or an abandoned cart they left behind, personalisation can be done really well. It's whatever's going to drive the most revenue and have the most impact. Sometimes we may see this jazzy thing that Boots may have launched, but we just don't have time unless we're going to see a really big impact.
DTC Live On Air is powered by Bright Pearl by Sage. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking with Chelsey, who's the campaign and brand director for Escentual. And it's a reminder that whilst the brands get the attention, retailers really do shape how customers are discovering and shopping. We're going to be covering all things retention, loyalty, and moving things a little bit away from the norm and trialing something new. Chelsey's goal is to bring that offline shop floor experience to online and keep her customers coming back again and again. Hope you enjoy. Hi Chelsey.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us. Really excited about this episode. Would you mind telling us a little bit about you, your role and your company as well?
Amazing. So I'm Chelsey. I've been in ecom now for around 11 years, but been in beauty and working for 18. So for me, coming from shop floor to sort of ecom is very, very been a really interesting journey, but I've learned a lot. And I think what's still important are those values I learned on the shop floor now and applying them at scale.
Yeah.
In terms of Escentual, so we're an online beauty retailer. We've been around for 25 years, but I like to think of us more as your beauty best friend as such, the one you go to for sort of reliable, trustworthy advice. That's sort of our point of difference. We started in Rakesh's garage, basically, and we've scaled now to operate globally, working with over 120 brands, over 6,000 SKUs across 7 different categories. So it's massive.
And what does that mean to operate with that retailer mentality?
For retailers, it is all about average order value and sort of upsell and cross-sell, if we're totally honest. Our job is to give you more, better audience, access to another audience. And for us, we need to be able to educate and curate because we've got a bird's eye view of the whole industry.
Yeah.
So we need to be maintaining and innovating in those categories, I think.
Yeah. And so I guess that means that you're driving your customers more into what they should be buying. You've got more variety, more range where you can pull them into the areas that you want them to start shopping in.
Absolutely. And, we've kind of a bit strategic when we take on brands in terms of there's your anchor brands that they do all the hard work for you. Everybody knows who they are and they're great for SEO. And then we've got the discovery brands that, more limited distribution, but then we can really sort of have a lovely play. You might like X because you shop this and really help build up that customer's not only beauty portfolio but also their education, so they feel like they're learning more about beauty too.
Yeah. And 25 years?
25 years.
That's a solid
I know,
number.
It is. It's big. In dog years, huge.
Yeah. It's like triple in dog years.
Yeah.
How do you stay relevant for such a long time? And also with the amount of change that happens consistently throughout e-commerce?
I think if I'm totally honest, I'm going to boil it down to one word, and I think relationships covers that, because it's not only our relationships with our customer, there's literally the pinnacles of that: trust, satisfaction, offering a service. It's with our brands that we work with. Mm-hmm. Bigger competitors in the industry, having those long-standing relationships has helped us learn and stay relevant. I think being a smaller team, we can be quite agile. So we've been able to pivot over the 25 years to help, whether it's, a customers don't read the blog anymore, they want short form content. Those kind of changes we've been able to make really easily. But I do think it all boils down to, the people that you work with having trust in you. Our CEO's values are quality, service and satisfaction, and that's remained, over the past 25 years and still true to this day. So I think those are really important.
And have you found that your customers have stayed quite similar throughout those different eras that you've gone through as a business, or has it evolved, to open up to new demographics and new audiences at all?
Over the years, we've seen peaks and troughs. Realistically, our customer is aged 25 to 35. During COVID, we saw a massive increase in 45 plus. Now we're seeing a bigger increase in the TikTok generation just based on the content that we're creating. So yeah, it has changed, but again, those values and us providing our service as a product, I think helps us remain stable and competitive.
Obviously, I imagine with having all of the different products that you've got and the different categories and the different brands, you're able to talk to different audiences and different demographics across all of those different channels. And then you're not just pigeonholing yourself into a single category. How are you balancing brand storytelling with commercial performance?
I'll be totally honest. I think as a retailer that has been a struggle, but we've been really lucky with our team to create a nice dynamic. One of the big, both I'm the campaigns director, our commercial director, both align on the website can't be fully commercially front facing, as it would look like a sale website, if we're totally honest, and wouldn't be helpful to the customer. So we've got a nice fine line between storytelling and obviously having to push those, whether it's obsolete or it's better margin products. We've got a nice mix for that. Realistically, how we do that is leveraging sort of hero products, and again, like I mentioned, these anchor brands that sort of tell the story for themselves and drive great traffic, and then the discovery brands being able to add those into the mix, whether that's with content on the homepage, across the website, in different areas, to showcase more hidden gems. And I think our customers appreciate that more because they're then learning about a product not necessarily they knew about, and it shows a point of difference. So we're able to sort of storytell and remain commercially viable. As a retailer, we do work with rate cards. Margins are really important as well. Realistically, we can't do everything with everyone, and how supportive, to be transparent, a brand will be with their margin does dictate how we are able to operate. So there's a nice balance there. Most of me and Alicia have both been there for, say, 11 years today, Alicia 7. So we've got a great dynamic, and I think, being transparent about margins, clear on that, and having those editorial guardrails that I bring in makes a good dynamic.
And what do you think that retailers have got an advantage over that brands don't?
The biggest one, if I'm totally honest, is our bird's eye view of the whole landscape. Realistically, strat seasons, I'm sat there seeing 120 brands, product launches, campaigns. So I've got an overarching view of all the trends. So I can, create categories, I can create customer journeys ahead of time to be able to cater to these bigger moments that happen. The other thing as well is creative guardrails as such. As a retailer, we can play around with more tools. We've got access to, different audiences to use EGC, UGC to create more content for these moments. Maybe, smaller brands don't have those budgets. That's where we can support. But I'm speaking on behalf of us as a retailer that offers that. I think not all retailers do, so we're quite lucky to do that. Where we win as well is logistically, so we can ship globally based on what we've worked towards for the last 25 years. Some smaller brands might not be able to, and just generally variety as well for the customer. We are brand agnostic, whereas a brand has to be, this is my brand, this is amazing. I come from a place where I want to educate my customer. I don't mind which brand you buy. I care about what your skin type is and that you're happy with the product. Here's 3, take your pick. So being brand agnostic, I think, helps the customer build a lot of trust in you and then, hopefully go on to purchase.
And do you find that you get, we're going to kind of chat through content, because I know that's something that you've highlighted as a focus, but do you find it easier to generate content because you've got so much accessible to you from the brands as well? Does that take some pressure off constantly creating something new?
It's a great point, but you'd be surprised. I think I'm going to flip that on its head because it's often not enough. And I come from that perspective from a product information level. So we work with, some global brands that may have global restrictions on their product copy or the information they provide. It can't say X, it can't say Y. But a UK consumer needs and wants that information. So sometimes it's not enough. So we have to spend the extra time, which we feel is worth it for our customer to communicate. The other thing there as well is a lot of these global brands, they don't always provide the correct assets. So as a beauty consumer, I'm sure you'll know you want to see a before and after of skincare, a hair product. Those tools aren't often provided. So as a retailer, again, we're lucky that we are able to create that content in-house to fit that gap. But in terms of the glossy, high impact ad that we could never, that's great. But for me, it's what the customer wants to see. Is it on the skin? How does it work? How is it used? And that's not always something the brands can provide or are able to based on their guidelines.
So really it's additional work then, isn't it? It's not necessarily always going to be
I know.
easier.
I am. You made me think, but it is. A lot of the time you'd be surprised. Yeah, a lot of additional work, but we feel it's worth it because that's what the customer wants to see, and that's ultimately going to lead to conversion.
And so what role does it play outside of like content on site? What does it play in like helping to drive revenue? Are you using it to drive like traffic to a certain blog post page, like outside of just, or is it like towards like your ads?
So in terms of content and the value added, I'm going to start with the most surprising one, which has been the beneficial part of landing in LLMs, if I'm totally honest. We have quite a strong video content, and using those subtitles helps us get into ChatGPT for when people are looking for what notes are in this fragrance or what, raspberry fragrances should I buy. Our content has worked really well to drive traffic and revenue in that way, and also get us thinking about the bigger picture of how can we scale that. So that's something that I found really impactful. The most valuable page on our website is the product page, and that's always our goal with whatever we create, whether that's on the blog or a video on YouTube or an ad. We try not to land on categories, but I won't go down that. But in terms of the bigger picture, revenue, we see a huge, it's always been a pivotal part of the last 11 years there. Content is huge. And without it, I don't think we definitely wouldn't have the same revenue. And also, it's that hidden revenue in terms of a customer trusting you over time. They may have seen your video of you describing a strawberry fragrance, not ready to purchase yet, but you'll be in their mind 6 months, a year down the line later to come back. And they might say, oh, you wanted a strawberry fragrance, go and watch that video, which we can't attribute, but we see a lot of value in that as well.
Yeah. Have you seen like any clear ROI yet from investing in like LLMs and the content around that?
So I'm going to be totally honest, we haven't invested in them. It's just naturally worked from how well we've optimized the content. But I would say week on week, we're seeing like a 20% increase in revenue from LLMs. Wow. Yeah, fascinating. But in terms of our content strategy, it's super heavy on SEO terms for product level, brand level, and then category level terms. And that's been for the last 11 years. So we're seeing that historically work really well. Now. Yeah, finally. I can sleep. Oh, actually, no, because I've got to relook at how we can improve it. But
And do you have like a clear template or format that you're using to make sure you're as optimized as possible?
We do. Realistically, it's based on a mix of, what customers write in product reviews. It does differ by category as well, which makes everything 10 times more difficult. So what template we'd have for fragrance is different for SPF, it's different for foundation, even as you go lower down the categories. Based on what, the common terms in customer questions and reviews. I've worked in beauty for 18 years, so, what questions I got asked on the shop floor, what brands provide. And we've mixed in these like frequently asked questions as such, which now has helped me create an AI prompt, which spits out product copy, script reviews for videos to create, content at scale to help match what these queries are. So that's been quite cool, actually.
So it's quite a lot of work, isn't it? But obviously to show like a consistent 20% growth, it's something.
Yeah,
is
I'm
worth
really
it.
excited about, and obviously it's just
Yeah.
now, how do you scale it?
Yeah.
Any advice?
The prompt.
Let me know.
And have you noticed anything that's had like a bigger impact on conversion? I know you mentioned like the product pages is something that you really focus on. Like, what do you try and do there to, assist in that conversion?
We're asking questions, what's your skin type? How do you want to feel when you look in the mirror, etc. Then once you're there, it's taking that information, trying to understand your intent. Do you need more information on ingredients? Have you got any extra questions? Do you want to check out quickly? Do you need to see what it looks like on the skin, how it's used? And then forming a journey that's optimized for that. Like, that's where we want to get to.
With like that, all that content that you're planning on optimizing the product pages with, is that something that you guys A/B test, or is it like, no, this is the route that we're going down, we're going to push that forward?
Again, it's all kind of in the works. We plan to A/B test it, and I think this is just me being so passionate about that experience and creating that online. So as soon as it comes in, we definitely will. We're working with a personalisation tool at the moment, which will show you a simplified version of that, of how to check out quicker versus more information, and we should get the results in the next month. So hopefully that will then push the team to believe in my vision. But I just, some things, I think, I was listening to your podcast with the sailing guy, who was absolutely amazing, and he said sometimes you need to A/B test, and sometimes you just know it's a good idea. And all my years experience, I just feel like I know a tailored PDP based on your intent and the information you need would work so well. And it's really not taken seriously enough, I think.
No, because I don't think not anyone, obviously there'll be brands out there that does it, but it's never usually, that's the first time I've heard someone talk about it in that way, where it's like, how do we make that shop floor experience of understanding and knowing what our customer wants.
Absolutely.
And writing that content around that to try and help educate them and encourage them through the purchase, rather than just focused on, what's that percentage of people that are getting from the product to the cart, like what's the percentage from cart to checkout, and just being purely focused on the number rather than the whole experience.
I'm super fascinated to try it, and hopefully I can come back on and explain how it
goes. And like, retention is obviously a really important factor across e-com, and I imagine it's somewhat easier in consumable products because people run out, they need to come back. But how are you guys defining what loyalty looks like for the company now?
I think I keep going back to this human experience, in-store experience, and being around for 25 years, being a family business, those interactions and loyalty means everything to us, because we're the small fish in a big pond. So for us, like, earn and burn is out. And I'm going to be honest, we did that for a long time.
Yeah, a lot of brands do, though.
Yeah, I know. But then, if I'm totally honest, retention is all about, customer lifetime value, making them feel like they're part of something bigger, rewarding behaviours, not just spending. And I'm really excited that we're actually moving past that now. Everybody's got a loyalty scheme. You can earn points wherever. And a lot of people collate points and don't even remember that they've got them, if I'm totally honest. So we plan to make loyalty and retention a feeling, a movement, something bigger. And how that looks is, rewarding you if you apply your SPF that day. You'll feel better for doing that. It's something you might forget. It's a bigger picture in terms of like general health and safety as such, protecting your skin from the sun, or, recycling your beauty products. So making it not just spend today and get double points, like do something good for yourself, do something good for the community, and we'll reward you. We've got a tiered approach that we use, which, some people will say that's the great gold, silver, bronze. Absolutely not. There's so many layers to loyalty and so many different behaviours. You'll have your cheerleaders. Maybe they don't come back all the time, but they love your brand.
Yeah.
They don't spend, but they're so valuable, especially for referrals. You have your loyalists that come back, spend, cheerlead you. Great. Mercenaries, they just love an offer. They want to come back in when they can. Let's not annoy them. If that's how they want to behave, we can still reward that behaviour. And then there are some ghosts in there, but, this is part of understanding the emotional side of loyalty and how they react with not just being sent an email, being, landing on the website, interacting with the brand, and understanding these behaviours to be able to serve people better and offer a more personalised experience.
So what are you doing that helps talk to all those different types of profiles?
We've just literally launched this. We're watching the emotional loyalty scores all migrate monthly, depending on the activity. And then we'll be creating bespoke flows and paths, because what we've learned to understand is someone may be a mercenary one month, a cheerleader the next month, and a loyalist, but then go back to ghost. So we're really trying to work out those ideal behaviours to be able to then map them out. But there'll definitely be different nudges, different promotions, again rewarding different behaviours. So we're really trying to understand that at the moment. I think that's really important. It isn't based on spend loyalty. Yeah. It is not. It's based on how they talk about your brand outside of the website, on social, the reviews they leave, how they interact with an email. It's way deeper, and I'm so excited to be able to work on that.
I mean, it sounds like a huge project.
It is, but we're so lucky to be working with an amazing team called Drift.
Yeah, no, that'll be really interesting, especially to see like the results and if you can keep someone from going back into ghost.
Absolutely.
And all the efforts that you're plugging in will keep them at those different levels. So
we never had that insight before.
No.
And to be honest, it's all down to AI.
Yeah.
Our lovely
our
little
good friend. And what about is the reward going to be monetary off values, or is there anything else that you're going to look at experimenting with there?
So we're really keen, and we're so close to working on money can't buy experiences, because again, that's what a retailer can add and needs to provide.
Yeah.
So if you've landed on the makeup page 10 times this month, but you haven't converted, maybe we'll reward you with a luxury makeup masterclass, for example, that you wouldn't be able to buy, or you can go with a friend. So you kind of build in your trust to our brand, and again, it's better brand affiliation for us. So yeah, money can't buy experiences are where we're aiming for. There's other things as well. So free gifts, whether that's a free order as well. Not necessarily just here's some extra points for you.
Yeah. Do you do any like surprise and delight?
Yeah, we do secret on every order.
Oh.
And our gold and silver members also get surprise and delight.
Yeah.
As well.
And do you find that still like an effective?
Absolutely. Like all you've got to do is read our Trustpilot reviews. People just constantly like so shocked to get this, definitely coming back. It's a great retention tool.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to ask, like, what's one retention tactic that's worked really well? Is it surprise and delight, or is it?
Surprise and delight works really well, but I'm sad to say this one because I didn't believe in it. If I'm totally honest, points expiry. I was so worried about our customers, being really disappointed by that. We've never done it before. It's worked tremendously well.
And people are like, oh shit, my points are going to expire. I better go and
absolutely. And we've seen people positively react to it because they're like, I didn't even realise I had points.
Yeah, you reminded
them. This is coming back. So it's again using Escentual as a service, as a product, as a reminder tool. It's worked really well.
DTC Live On Air is powered by Bright Pill by Sage. Has there been anything around like email or retention, or anything around like email that's kind of been a driver for retention as well?
So we've definitely noticed there's some gaps. I think, learning, being in a small team and maybe learning what not to do.
Yeah.
Really reevaluate welcome flows. So we, if I'm honest, went with the bog standard recommendation, which is one email, welcome to Escentual. Doesn't work.
Don't do that,
Doesn't
people.
work, no. And something as well is don't always offer a discount because, you're devaluing your brand. So we're just about to launch a 30-day welcome flow with points reminders, project education, non-discount led email reminder flow. And I think that's going to be really good to get a second order and really build the brand as well. So again, hopefully I'll come back and I'll tell you that it works. But again, I think it's going to work over this one email.
Do you really try and not fall into like discount traps? Are you not a discount first brand?
Yeah, and most of the brands we have, some of the luxury fragrance brands in the world, can't stand it. And for our reputation, we need to, maintain it as well. So, things like upsell, cross-sell, gift for purchase, added value with points are really important to us because we're a premium beauty retailer.
Mm-hmm. And just to kind of go back to AI, the favourite topic, I know you mentioned that you use using that to kind of help with ideas and things that you're using internally. Like, how are you thinking about AI in the context of like the customer experience?
In terms of customer experience in AI, I don't think we're in a space anymore in ecom where you can't personalise.
Mm-hmm.
How we're using it is basically to personalise based on intent, low, high, medium, show different content, show different experiences based on that, and that has to work.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the testing stage at the moment, but that's what we're doing.
But you wouldn't believe like how many brands don't use personalisation.
I know.
I'm talking like big brands, like
absolutely
in like the 20 mil plus 50 mil, and they're just like, no. And I'm like, I feel that you're really leaving money on the table by not having some element in there.
What are they scared of or reluctant to, do you think?
It's cost.
Yeah.
I think that they find like there's a bigger cost to implement it and to trial it, and they're like, oh no, we've not got the budget for it. But I don't think they're necessarily seeing like what the potential ROI could look like if they invest heavily in personalisation.
Absolutely. And I also think like from a premium brand perspective, when you don't know too much about it, you can see personalisation as that, hi Chelsey, welcome, where it looks quite stalkerish and a bit not on brand. But when you take away the layers and showing someone skincare they might like or an abandoned cart they left behind, personalisation can be done really well and obviously very effectively.
And has there been any like changes that you've made to the on-site experience where they've had like a really huge impact on either conversion rate or product discovery?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're working with an AI partner called Nimstrata, and that's search and discovery, which is a big part of what a retailer has to do.
Mm-hmm.
So what they do is they take our current filters and then they bring in Vertex AI data to make sure that what the customer sees is the most relevant and most likely to be what they're looking for.
Oh, that's interesting.
So that's currently in the trialing stages, but we're really excited about that, and the results so far are really impressive.
So that'll be that they'll take like the synonyms.
Yes.
But it'll show it based on the customer that's shopping there and there.
Exactly. Sometimes, I have come across sometimes where it can take it to the nth degree. So we do have to put some guardrails in. For example, there's an ingredient called ectoin, which is for hydration. So it knows it's for hydration. So it may serve you hydration versus ectoin. So there's that sort of element there that we need into proof, but the context it's able to bring in that our search and filters can't is so impressive.
That's amazing. I've not heard of that done before.
Yeah,
it really shows there's something for everything up there.
Absolutely. Learning every day's a learning day, every day's a school day.
So you've kind of mentioned that you're quite a small, like lean team as well. Like, how do you sort priorities? Like, how do you focus on?
Yeah.
And do you always focus on biggest impact things, or is there other areas that you're like, no, that's still just as important that we need to go ahead and implement?
That's a really good point, because realistically we do have to focus on anything that's got a high impact, and it's always about revenue. But because of our the family run heritage and the values and culture of the company, whatever's going to help improve for the customer that might be a small thing, we think will always come first. So there is a mix. We prioritize by what's going to, I hate to say it, but I'll be transparent. It's whatever's going to drive the most revenue and have the most impact. We don't have time for sometimes we may see this jazzy thing that Boots may have launched, but we just don't have time unless we're going to see a really big impact. We have to automate as much as possible where we can. So AI has become a super helpful tool. We need, all of our team to be able to use their brains creatively, and then we can automate all the sort of basic everydays. These things we have to decide.
And what do you think enables you guys to compete with some of the bigger players like Boots out there? Again,
I'm going to bring it back to relationships. The trust that we've got from our suppliers, from our customers, is what keeps us going. Even the team, most of them have been there 5+ years. There's just something about the heritage of this company that just keeps it going. When I'm also in strategy meetings, if I'm totally honest, it's a question I constantly ask because I need to know that we're on the top of our game and that we are offering brands something different. And the one that always comes out is we're the content first partner. So where, it's a constant pillar that we have to educate, we have to curate. A lot of our other suppliers maybe just put a product live, hope you'll buy it. You notice the product copy is the same on every other website. We go that extra mile to check the product the customer's going to receive is, as it will, write bespoke copy, show the customer how to use it, fill in the gap with those assets that aren't there, and just going that extra mile, basically. I also look at Trustpilot a lot and compare our reviews for the likes of some bigger players. And the biggest things that come out is just our reliability. You order with us, we're going to deliver on time. Our products are in stock. Like you may have seen, not to speak badly on anyone, the Beauty Bay drama where, no one could get the products they wanted. That trust is completely gone there. They're out of the decision-making mix. It's never a problem for us, touch wood, because our team is so on it.
Yeah.
So I think, the relationships we have, the trust that people have in us, a small team being agile, we're just able to pivot to what we need to be in this environment.
What do you think's been like the biggest or most impactful way that you've been able to acquire new customers? Like, is it platform specific? Because obviously,
yeah, definitely,
you are competing against some really big players like Cult Beauty. Look fantastic. Like some that have got a huge like market share. How do you get in front of new customers so they know that there's more choice out there?
So our biggest platform and channel is Google Ads, if I'm totally honest, Google Shopping.
Yeah.
The team that we have are absolutely incredible and are working with some really great tools directly with Google to be able to be more flexible, shall we say, with how we show. And that complements our organic strategy too then. So from a customer buying decision, they've never heard of Escentual. They're searching for a vitamin C serum with 10% vitamin C. Tom and our team's bidding on, you see us at the top. You might not trust that, but it's, you can see the reviews, you've got the price there. And then I'm coming in at the bottom with how to use it in a short form video and a review of what I thought of it. The trust element there is really bridged and people then see, Escentual.
Yeah.
Then they're in our funnel and then they're hopefully replanning.
And is that the biggest channel then for you guys, Google Ads?
Yes.
How well
massive.
does Meta perform or compare to that?
Not even close.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And do you think that is the difference between being a retailer and a brand, that it's...
Absolutely. I think, with Meta, the attribution is always such a grey area. And for us, being smaller, we have to use the brand's name to be able to scale our ads. So, for example, Givenchy, available Escentual. You're building the Givenchy brand almost in a way. You're relying on those assets, etc. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but for us to get cut through on Meta, that's kind of the way we have to go.
Yeah.
Whereas Google is just absolutely incredible shopping.
And what about like some of the newer channels like TikTok? Is that something that you invest in?
Yes. Well, we experimented with Shop, and as a retailer, that's actually really hard. You need brand agreements from every supplier brand. So to get past that is really tough. But we saw some great results. TikTok are great to help fund you with discounts that if you don't have the margin, works perfectly. So I would suggest it as a great tool. However, we saw a really high amount of returns and fraud as well. So we've come off there, but the right price point, the right brand, you can make it work.
Do you use it for like awareness then, just from like
a
just
from an SEO perspective? So how to use the new vitamin C serum, I keep going back to vitamin C, or discover the new Guerlain perfume, trying to get those short forms to rank. And then when people are searching on TikTok, it's Escentual. It's just that journey's a lot tougher. And I don't know if you know, but any mention of inorganic TikTok of your own site kind of shadow bans you in a way. So we give it a go. YouTube's by far the most successful for us in that way. But again, just to be visible across, you never know.
No.
You just never know.
No. And just to kind of go back to like the website and things there, like you've been through some like platforms and
yeah.
site migrations. What did those moments teach you, and what did you move from to and back maybe?
We were on Magento custom for maybe 15 years. And then we decided to migrate, I think it was in the October of 25, and do it in 6 weeks.
Nice.
To Shopify.
Nice.
I don't think I slept for the 6 weeks, but it taught me a lot of things.
It taught you how to not cry. Like
the value of a strong team and support. And there's so many things I got wrong, and I still have nightmares at sending the new customer accounts email at 6 o'clock on a Friday, but it had to be done. It was 2 weeks delayed. I've learned from it. But yeah, in terms of the freedom that's given us, so, sometimes a tech request would need to be in 6 weeks in advance, whereas I can go onto the Shopify customizer, have a little fiddle and be done the same day. So the freedom is well worth it. We get way more data and insights. Like, I'm not going to teach you how to suck eggs, all about Shopify, but it's been very beneficial, even
100%.
though
and you
it was
must have been like seriously embedded with like 15 years on the platform.
100%. And so are our customers.
Yeah.
I'll be totally honest. The site wasn't optimized for mobile. And in this day and age, you can't do that. And then, some of our legacy customers were like, I don't like the new site because it was so perfectly for desktop.
It was like we missed the bus.
But you just can't win. And hopefully we made everyone happy now. We work hard for it.
Yeah, no, 6 weeks impressive. We did a Magento to Plus migration. Okay. I think it was 7 weeks that we did it.
Yeah.
And it was
How many of
intense.
you working on that?
Yeah, probably about six members of the team on it. It's no...
You never regret a migration, never forget a migration.
No.
Even. Well, you might regret. But yeah.
I went back and told the team, I was like, so we've just won this project, like we're going to do this migration in this amount of time. And they was like, that's not possible. I'm like, anything is possible.
Wow.
Anything is possible. And we did it. Did you have any kind of issues or breakages that, you can warn people of on farm migrations or to think about as you doing such a huge move?
Absolutely. Something we're still working on was migrating the WordPress blog to Shopify. The blog migration has been really difficult. Naming structures of images, always name them a product name or something you'll recognize, because when migrating, it's impossible to match those data points. The other thing, like customer accounts, be really conscious of your customer and what they're used to, and just communicate with them along the way. Don't be scared to say we're migrating, or your account might look a little different, or bear with us, because it's so much better than slapping them on a Friday with none of your account is there anymore.
We've changed.
Yeah, look after the blog, keep an eye on that. Use all your naming structures and just communicate with your customer, I think, along the way, and your team.
Yeah, and your team. And obviously, like 11 years at a company is amazing. How have you noticed that your customers' behaviours changed over over the past few years? I suppose the past few years has been the most changes we've seen in the industry. Like, have you seen anything that's been like, wow, that's really different?
I think the way that customers are consuming content now. The big part of my role is maintaining our blog, which has been around for 15 years. And even though it's great for retention, like it goes out in our email every Sunday, my edit, and it's the most clicked through email every week. But customers want video now. They want to be seeing how things look on the skin, showing off the product. I think that's been really interesting to me, like seeing the change in sort of people's attention span and the need for dopamine. They say it's less than a goldfish now, right? In terms of,
it's like less than 3 seconds.
Yeah, which, is quite tough.
Yeah.
So looking for hooks now versus just being able to have a conversation, explain a product's really, really different. Yeah. But I don't, I'm part of the problem. So I get it.
Accustomed to it though.
Yeah.
Like since I found it was since I started using TikTok. Like
yes.
If I can't get through the video fast enough, I'm 2x speeding it. I'm like, hurry up. Come on, we've not got all day.
I know.
It's just crazy. It's like, when did we become like so impatient?
Yes.
And that, like you said, it's so difficult now for, retailers and brands to like constantly, what hook can I get through in 3 seconds
Yeah.
to keep that attention span? It's mad.
And without just constantly selling at people,
Yeah.
because it becomes inauthentic.
Yeah.
Not everybody needs this serum every day or this fragrance. So it's really thinking, how can you add value to that customer in 3 seconds?
Yeah.
That's changed a lot since over the years, I think.
I bet. And what are you most focused on, like either testing or improving now?
I would say most of my team are testing, but I'm constantly improving, which probably makes for a nice dynamic. We've still got a long way to go since the migration, and there's still those fundamentals of that shop floor experience that I'm desperate to bring in. But, whatever's going to benefit the customer, really, that's our priority.
Yeah. And there's so much like new technology out there as well. Like,
yes.
I saw one the other day and it was like a skin analysis tool that you can have on the site. And I thought that's a really great way of, because I've seen that done through like product recommendation quizzes and, upload a picture and then we'll send it back. And I thought that's like taking us into like this new way of shopping, isn't it, really?
Absolutely. And it's so helpful because that customer would have to go in the store to get that information. They don't want to. So being able to offer those tools are amazing. I think you've just sparked, something that overwrites everything I'm saying. Is something I'm super focused on is being a service to our customers and trying to take that something out of the everyday life that takes too much time, replacing that with how we can be helpful. And that's whether that's with replenishment or education. Like, we're working with a really cool tool called Replenit, which uses AI at a variant level to be able to predict with a couple of days, like before you're due to run out, to remind you when you're low. So that takes away someone's thinking process and they can just click to reorder. So those types of things work really well. I don't know if you use Moonpig.
Yeah.
The birthday reminders. Whoever invented that is absolute genius. So taking inspiration for those things, I'm really focused on bringing in to Escentual, because you start to see them as part of your everyday life, not just a retailer.
Yeah, you want to try and bring like as much offline experience
That's
online. And is there an area of the site in particular that's like a core focus? I know you mentioned like the product pages. Is there anything around, like, have you done much around like checkout or optimization there?
They're the two main areas. PDPs definitely, because that's where we see the highest value. But again, checkout, I don't know, like, you have so much experience with Shopify checkout, but the bare minimum is just awful.
Yeah.
Like, none of our apps can really get into it to plug in, which is frustrating. Hopefully the new things will change.
Yeah, you need Plus. You're on Plus.
We are Plus, yeah.
You've just got a...
I think the apps we're working with are kind of... They're not in their infancy at all, because they're incredible, but they're just not integrated yet on that list. Sometimes the Shopify lets certain people have access.
I think like with like the checkout, it's... You don't have to do tons on there, but I think it's worth like... making sure that you've got a really solid like upsell and cross-sell opportunity, that you're plugging in any like core customer reviews or your Trustpilot score, so that you just add in that extra value and trust. I think they're like the minimum basic ones that you should plug in, and then from there it's like, right, let's test and iterate, because the checkout does, I mean, it outperforms. I think it's something like 35% over any other CMS out there, so they are doing something right. But I know what you mean, like it does feel you can't
in
plug
terms
into
of what
it.
our customer needed, for example, like being able to redeem points. Like, if you're logged into Shop Pay, you can't check out with points, because it just bypasses the whole. So there's little things like that which we're hoping to see changes with. But we've struggled with checkout speed as well. So that's something we're working on. I think we've managed to reduce it by 0.06 seconds this week. And that came down to basically just removing some apps that we forgot to delete because the code was still stored. So it's just fascinating. It's a whole nother beast.
It is. An easier beast to manage though than Magento, I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And obviously, like with being at the company for nearly half the time it's been going, do you, if you was like building it again today or from where you first started, is there anything that you would do differently?
Oh, that's a great question. Yes, probably. I would integrate sort of, I know this is like banging on about shop floor experience, but I would integrate the mentality that, not one customer's the same. content needs to serve different purposes, and really get that PDP segmented down really to, I call them like different colour customers. So a red customer, if they need to check out quickly because they're urgent, let's create those journeys.
Yeah.
Yellow customer, friendly, wants to chat, needs more information, a whole different journey for them. Green, indecisive. Blue needs facts. So how can we really tailor that journey? I think I would have set those up a little bit differently.
Yeah. But I suppose it's like you're always going to be evolving and learning from them as well, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
And last question, just to kind of like close things out, like what's one belief that you held about e-commerce or retail a few years ago that you no longer agree with?
Oh, that's a great one. Maybe I'll be a little bit deeper here, I guess. So coming from sort of the shop floor and more of a people-facing, people-centric background, I kind of believed e-commerce maybe wasn't the avenue for someone like me, but it's amazing to see the values and still transfer to e-com. And so, you know, in terms of the customer is really important, and you can be as technical as you want, but if you can't communicate that, no work's going to get done.
Yeah.
So, you know, e-com is really exciting. It's not boring, and it is for everyone. And that's what I would finish on.
I like that. Well, that was amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
DTC Live On Air is powered by Bright Pill by Sage.